economic shock ahead is far bigger than governments realize. After more than 40 years of studying artificial intelligence, UC Berkeley professor Stuart Russell, he has not mellowed. According to a Business Insider report, the man who co-authored Artificial Intelligence, subtitled A Modern Approach, he is the world's most authoritative author with a textbook on AI. And now he spends up to 100 hours a week trying to avert what he says and sees as a historic crisis, one that could leave almost the entire global population, he says, without work. Russell is one of the world's most influential AI researchers and computer scientists. And he told the British entrepreneur Stephen Bartlett on the Diary of a CEO podcast this past Thursday that the economic shock ahead is far bigger than governments realize. Russell said political leaders are, quote, suddenly staring 80% unemployment in the face, end quote, as AI systems accelerate toward replacing abilities once reserved for the highest skilled humans. He said AI systems are doing, well, pretty much everything we now call work. That includes fields that were once believed to be safe from automation, adding, quote, anything you might aspire to. You want to become a surgeon? It takes the robot 7 seconds to learn how to be a surgeon. That's better than any human being, end quote. He suggested that sectors once considered safe, such as driving and logistics and accounting or software engineering and even medicine, or that they are likely to be swept up in the coming wave of automation. Russell, well, he joins a growing chorus of AI experts and tech leaders in forecasting historic levels of job displacement. While Andrew Yang has warned that AI could wipe out 40 million U.S. jobs in the next decade, Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei predicted up to half of entry-level white-collar roles could actually disappear within 5 years. Russell said even senior executives will not be spared, adding, quote, pity the poor CEO whose board says, unless you turn over your decision-making power to the AI system, we're going to have to fire you because all our competitors are using an AI-powered CEO and they're doing much better, end quote. Google CEO Sundar Pichai and OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, they have both echoed these same thoughts in recent interviews. The Google CEO stated, quote, I think what a CEO does is maybe one of the easier things for an AI to do one day, end quote. Companies, they are already cutting jobs because of AI. HP, IBM, Salesforce, and other companies, well, according to numerous reports, they've all cited AI as a factor in sweeping layoffs or workforce reductions, all that were announced over the past year. Russell said, quote, even the giant AI companies will have few human employees in the long term, end quote. Would you like to gain access to 36 years of Christian worldview programming, news and information, all my books, ebooks, documentaries, and more? Worldviewtube.com/vault. Worldviewtube.com/vault. Understand the times, where we've been and where we're going. Worldviewtube.com/vault. The future of American war power belongs to autonomous and AI weapons. So said War Secretary Pete Hegseth. While speaking to employees at Anduril, that's a war contractor in Costa Mesa, California, Hegseth, he praised them for being focused on lethality in their AI-based weapon systems. According to the Post, Millennial, Hegseth stated, quote, lethality is something you've focused on delivering every day, but we also need to inject alongside the warrior ethos urgency, real urgency, not Washington, D.C., old Defense Department, Pentagon bureaucracy urgency, which is we're going to deliver this in 2 years after we coordinated across 19 different agencies no one ever heard of, and we create 14 prototypes that sit on a dusty shelf till they get approved by some regulator. That's not the kind of urgency we're going to deliver, end quote. He said the Department of War is interested in helping Anduril go faster. And in terms of earning defense contracts, well, he said, quote, I want the absolute best. And so we're going to have those competitions. To the winners go the spoils. And if that growth means certain companies like Adurl are successful, fantastic. And as long as you guys are better than somebody else, you're going to win, end quote. He said autonomous AI-powered weapons, they make up the arsenal of the future. These are weapons in which human commanders no longer make the decisions on who gets targeted and who gets killed in a battlefield situation. Instead, such decisions are turned over to machines. It's already happening in Gaza and in Ukraine, which have served as a test ground for AI-powered weapon systems that are being developed in the United States. As we reported last week, China is also experimenting with AI-powered robot soldiers. Hegseth added, quote, "Thank you for starting this company on a vision," saying, "We need patriotic companies that can build here technologies of the future. And I hope you go out there and compete and build like crazy," expletive I'll take out, "because we need you to do it every single day. We're relying on you to do it and other great companies in America to do it on behalf of the American war fighter," end quote. Politico is reporting that Congress is using its annual defense bill to force the Pentagon into turning over videos of missile strikes against suspected drug smuggling boats off the coast of Latin America. Lawmakers, they're planning to withhold a quarter of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's travel budget until the Pentagon provides them with the full, unedited videos. The demand, quietly, by the way, tucked into the final draft of the annual defense policy bill, it calls for, quote, unedited video of strikes conducted against designated terrorist organizations in the area of responsibility of the United States Southern Command, end quote. The videos, they must be handed over to the House and Senate Armed Services Committee, which have oversight responsibilities pertaining to the military. The provision, it appeared as lawmakers look into a controversial follow-up strike on September 2nd that killed 2 survivors of an initial attack, an action some analysts warn amounts to a war crime. Hegseth on Saturday, he would not say whether he would release the video, citing potential safety concerns for troops. But President Trump has said he would have no problem doing so. The Pentagon chief has publicly backed the decision to kill the survivors, although he said Admiral Frank Bradley, who is head of U.S. Special Operations Command, made the final call on the second strike. Bradley and Joint Chiefs Chair Dan Kane last week, they briefed 2 lawmakers on national security committees, and they showed unedited video footage of the operation. But lawmakers, they disagreed about what the video showed. Some top Republicans who viewed the unedited footage, well, they contend it vindicates the administration's position. Democrats, they have called on the Pentagon to release it more broadly. House Armed Services Ranking Member, Representative Adam Smith, a Democrat from Washington, he said the footage contradicts how Hegseth and other Republicans have described it. Smith, in an interview at the Reagan National Defense Forum on Saturday, he said the House Armed Services Committee is attempting to secure a viewing for all panel members this week. He told ABC News, quote, "We should do a full-scale investigation. I think we should have up and down the chain of command any written documents, and then a public hearing where Secretary Hegseth explains, while being questioned by the committee, what did you do here and why?" End quote. The military has killed at least 87 people in the anti-smuggling operation since September. The administration has said the actions are justified because the people are narco-terrorists and that they're bringing drugs into the U.S. Experts and lawmakers have said the administration is on legally questionable grounds. But like always in Washington, there are 2 sides. Others say the president is fully justified in this action. Of course, we'll continue to follow this debate.